Hey guys, this is STALKER, and welcome to my first impressions of Afterfall InSanity. Yeah, so this is advertised as a survival horror game. However, just to get this right off the bat, this plays actually more like a third-person action game slash shooter, sort of like a Gears of War or God of War type of hybrid. Although God of War is a little far-fetched, you don't have that many enemies, whatever. So if you're looking for like something along the lines of a Resident Evil, maybe, classic survival horror game, this is probably not what you'll find here. Right, this game is made by Intoxicate Studios, which are from Poland, and Intoxicate Studios are, at least they claim to be like diehard Fallout or S.T.A.L.K.E.R fans. So you can guess that this game also has sort of like a post-apocalyptic vibe to it, as you can read also during the credits there that were shown just a second ago. That apparently the backstory of this whole thing is that sort of like an alternative World War II has taken place, and now, as a consequence of this, the Earth is, a nuclear wasteland, and people live underground. And because of that, they slowly but steadily grow insane. Hence the title, InSanity. And I think also this is why, as you can see in this intro scene here, those characters like feature, nervous twitches to have like tics and stuff like that. I'm not really sure if that is on purpose, but I want to believe it is, because that would make sense. Although, as far as I can tell, this is not really picked up later in the game, at least not to a large extent. But anyways, I'm going to talk about this later, because actually mental stability and/or like your psychological condition also affects the gameplay of this whole thing. So but that I'm gonna talk about a little bit later when it becomes relevant. And I mentioned S.T.A.L.K.E.R and Fallout, so this actually I kind of like the look of it. This whole thing, like, I'm a huge fan of those, actually the whole Eastern European post-apocalyptic setting, if you will. I mean, you encounter this quite a lot, actually. Think about S.T.A.L.K.E.R, think about Metro 2033, even Half-Life 2, that was not like Eastern European / Russian production, was set in sort of like a Eastern European city after, this alien invasion. So I actually like it, I dig that, so, no qualms there. Right. I mean, clearly, like, our main character here, this Albert Tokai guy, I think he's called, is actually not a soldier or a warrior. He is a psychologist / pharmacologist. So, anybody, Gordon Freeman, anybody really, yeah, I don't really know. Anyways, so it's like, it's like stays true to those games in more than one way, let me put it that way, which is again not necessarily a bad thing, just to get that out of the way. Yeah, and this is actually the gameplay of the whole thing. So, like I said, this is like this third-person thing that I was talking about, like over-the-shoulder camera. And actually, this is our introductory mission here, meaning that, we're gonna learn the ropes of, what's going on here, really. This is really how it works. You like get those screens. Okay, yeah, this is our PDA, so, it helps us with various information, like, you know, this is yeah, we saw this is profile, so, you know, this is sort of what's going on with the characters. We got adversaries, media, notes, you know, this is being filled, and this is objectives again, so those parts are being filled as you encounter, you know, certain pieces of information or video snippets. The adversary section, obviously, you know, if you defeat a certain type of enemy, you know, that is filled, and the armory actually lists all the available weapons, and I'm going to talk about this later as soon as we, you know, come across those weapons actually. Yeah, it has like a very claustrophobic setting. I was like, I like the setting. It's nothing really. It doesn't like reinvent the wheel. Right, this is our flashlight. This is gonna be more important later on. Okay, with E, obviously you interact with the environment, so, you know, picking up ammo, or, you know, just like using this fuse box to actually turn off the light. Yeah, it's more like it. Okay, that's our key card. And then you have those terminals here that contain audio logs. They basically, you know, look the same throughout the game, so, or throughout this level, I should rather say. So, you know, they give you sort of like a flavor text about what's going on there. So if we hit the spacebar, we can perform, let's say, physical feats, if you will. So either dodging or running, and you can see our this little meter that appears there. Okay, let's open this door real quick. And obviously, you know, the more things you do, like the more you dodge or run or whatever, actually that is also holds true for melee attacks. You know, the more the health meter, the endurance meter depletes, and that means that, you know, at some point we won't be able to run anymore. This is, you know, I'm just gonna let this play because also the cutscenes I like. Everything, like the whole story of this game, is being told through in-game graphic cutscenes. And that is actually nicely done. You know, like I like the camera angles and stuff like that, so that's not necessarily bad. Okay, and there's our first lunatic. Yeah, it's not. I think I'm not spoiling too much, really, because you know, this is actually. I mean, I gave this game some praise, you know, in regards of like, or regards to graphical style and you know, cutscenes and stuff like that. Also, like the music a lot, but yeah, it's like the story. I mean, it's really nothing super new. This is something that you've seen. Like, if you've played all those games that I mentioned earlier, you'll realize that, you know, that game actually borrows a lot from that whole genre, if you will. And by genre, I obviously mean like this, yeah, who's the real monster? You know, this is kind of what I mean. You know, we've seen this all before, nothing really surprising. If you've, yeah, played all those games, you've seen this. If you've played Metro, you know who the bad guys really are. I don't know.
I'm not leaving him here. So you just got yourself a solo recon mission. Go to the reception and contact the HQ. Looks like security channels are down. Are you crazy? I'm not going anywhere. Why don't we just go back and contact in the traditional way? And give the Colonel another reason to complain how useless we are? Do as I say. You know that I have to write a report? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think if you live in a post-apocalyptic world like that, writing reports is not really on, you know, the top of your agenda, let's put it that way. Okay, this introduces us to the firearm combat. So basically with the right mouse button we aim, and with the left we shoot. Yeah, another feature of the game that you will come across more often than not is actually our quick time events. You know, not a bad thing necessarily. They're not super duper hard, so it's okay. And then yeah, you have this fear lock feature. I'm gonna talk about this, which is basically, you know, this insanity or mental stability aspect of the game. Okay, with V we can kick, you know, doors or objects and enemies. And here's actually our first melee weapon. So let's pick up this bad boy. And by holding the left mouse button, you know, we activate it, and then the directional keys let us swing the crowbar here in you know, various directions, and that is actually how we fight our enemies. Yeah, I really have to say, okay, let's pick up the fire axe here, because the fire axe is way better than the crowbar. You know, as is actually being displayed here. Let me just show this to you guys. Okay, so each weapon has like, yeah, damage, speed, and block. So this is pretty self-explanatory, really. Basically, what you can do is, stop interrupting me, game. Okay. This is the compass, just to show you guys this real quick. So, you know, if you ever get lost, although the game is pretty linear, you can use the PDA sort of as a, you know, indicator of where you have to go. Using the, and I think we're gonna fight our first enemies in a second. Using this melee weapon. So basically, you have 3 different weapon spots. The first one is sort of like a sidearm. Right now, we're carrying our trank gun. But later on we get like a pistol, you know, that we can assign a spot to. Then the second spot is the melee weapon, or like a bigger weapon. This can also be a firearm, like a shotgun or assault rifle. And then the third one is hand-to-hand combat. Okay, we can lock onto enemies and switch. Yeah. But basically, you know, yeah, the combat is really clunky. I mean, you can see this right here. What I'm basically doing is I'm pushing the buttons here. Or I can also shoot those guys. He should go down in a second. Okay, yeah, that's it. And then I'm just, yeah, take that, man. Don't mess. And then I'm just swinging the fire axe. Although if you're, okay, let's pick this up real quick. If your attacks are interrupted by the enemy, you always start with like the overhead strike, really. And yeah, this is, you know, there's no real combat or like finesse to the whole fighting style. Let's put it that way. I mean, you come across like a huge array of weapons, of melee weapons, but they all more or less behave the same. And I think this has a lot of potential, let me put it that way. You know, why not, you know, devise a system where, you know, hand-to-hand combat really, you know, differs, like depending on, for example, like, let's take a look here. This is like a double-handed hammer. You know, it is slower, deals more damage, but as you can see, the moves are pretty much the same. You know, left swing, right swing, overhead swing. And let's pick up the fire axe, because it's better. Yeah, also some of the weapons disappear. You know, you see that? Hammer is gone. Major glitch in the game. It really is like fucking annoying to have your weapons disappear like that. Especially if you pull out a firearm, then you drop the weapon you're holding in the second weapon slot, and it just disappears. Okay, let's turn on the flavor text here. Okay, so we have to change the batteries. This is another puzzle section of the game, and I have to say that those puzzle sections really are easy, because everything is more or less in your vicinity. It's not like you have to run across the level to find this battery. It's right there. So, and that holds true for the whole thing. And now we can push this button, and that's it. You know, so power is rerouted to this door. And now, yeah, let's just shoot this guy. Okay, do we hit him? I'm not really sure. Okay, let's... Oh no! See, this is what I mean. Now the fire axe is gone. Great. So, let's pick up the... Let's pick up the thing here. What was it? Okay, pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Okay, we're not picking up anything here. Let's just beat this guy up. Yeah, and again, very like we can like either kick him or like punch him in the face. I don't really know. And now our stamina is depleted, and he can just like go and turn on our torso. Yeah, we can take. This is actually medium difficulty, and we can take an ungodly amount of damage, really. Just like knock this guy out, will you? Okay, punch him. Because there are finishing moves that we can apply. Obviously not right now. I don't really know what's going on. So yeah, he got that up. Great job. This is why you're a psychologist, man. Yeah, this is, you know, the combat just draws out, as you can see. It's just really, really boring, I have to say. I mean, we won't run the fear, like, the danger of dying. Okay, now I got a crowbar, bitches. Yeah, see this guy kneeling there? Now we could technically, yeah, great. Dude, just put, nah, you got back up again. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's not only that the game wastes a lot of potential. Hold on. It's also, those are finishing moves, basically. Okay. Nicely done. The game wastes a lot of potential there. It also, it just drags the stuff out, you know, needlessly. Why? Why would you do that? I don't know. And you know, after all, this is a fighting game, so like fighting is a major portion of the gameplay. It's not like, you know, eventually just going to be a fight. No, you do this all the time. And that's actually like a huge weak point. I mean, the firearm combat is okay, but the melee combat sucks. Okay, let's pick up... Actually, like, this is the first time, you know, I run across this kind of stuff. What is this? Let me... Oh, okay. So this is a sort of like a nightstick that goes into the hand-to-hand combat spot, sort of like the martial arts spot, if you will. I have no clue. You know, the thing where you do not use a weapon. So yeah, that is actually something that I would, you know, that I would highly criticize here. So the other gameplay device, you know, like this F.T.A.L.K.E.R or like mental stability, whatever you want to call it. Actually, if you were familiar with, and I'm gonna go way back here, the H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu role-playing game. For those of you who know this, you know, yes, this is my generation. You know, you have this mental stability that also affects your character, or like take an amnesia, for example. You know, the more scared you are, and you get scared by, you know, witnessing stuff like this. Oh my god, you just killed those guys. So the screen gets blurry, and your you know, combat skills like shooting gets more difficult because your aim is, you know, a lot more wobbly. But melee combat improves actually, so it's a trade-off because you can hit faster and stronger, as far as I know. Not that it really matters, that you wouldn't be able to notice, I think. You know, if I just didn't tell you, you would probably... You could have killed this guy with 2 hits, just as easy. So, and if you go to like better lighted areas, you know, indicated by... You see this monitor on our arm? Wait, can I... It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna... actually, it's on the other side. Okay, this one here, you see, like, this is like a light meter, so the greener it is, the lighter the area, and the more stability or F.T.A.L.K.E.R you can get back.
If anyone can hear me, the contamination is spreading. Please, stay within the sealed area.
Okay, yeah, but it's not like that really matters, because you know that sooner or later, you know, you won't die that easily. Also, there's no health meter per se. You just get like those blood splatters on the screen, and that's basically it. And the same goes for like the sanity. Like, you know that sooner or later you're gonna regain your sanity, and it's not really that difficult.
The ventilation system before the contamination spreads to other levels. What?
Okay. So let's just pick this up real quick here, and then be on our way. Yeah, what I really like about this game is actually that it has a lot of what I like to call cool idea moments, you know. Let's pick up our gun here. Okay. You know, meaning that you can, it's like every now and then you stumble across something that, you know, where you go, oh, this is a really cool idea. It's like I could really see where they wanted to go with that, you know. but the game never really, you know, expands on that. There's certain boss fights, you know, where you say, oh wow, this is really nice.
This console should open the door.
Yeah, also, this game is interspersed with mini games, so now we have to just like push the directional buttons and then actually memorize which button activates which cog here. So it's like a memory game basically, and once we're done, let me just, okay. Right, so that opens the door. And also some enemies. So yeah, let's actually drop this guy. And that's relatively easy. Also, you come across like a lot of ammo. Let's just drop this guy. Chunky salsa. So that makes basically this whole melee combat thing, you know, a moot point, because you will always have enough ammunition to shoot each and every monster in the game. Pretty much. So, yeah, in summation, because I don't want to make this, you know, unnecessarily long, I think I showed up most of the features that this game has. I like the presentation style, I like the atmosphere this game creates, you know, meaning that it throws you in this post-apocalyptic, you know, Europe here. Again, a huge fan of those, you know, Eastern European dystopian environments. But the combat is really one major issue, you know. I already mentioned that combat is a major portion of the game, but then it just feels as if combat is a boring filler in between those cool moments. Also the story, let me show you this. Remember how we were sent here to establish communications with the HQ? Well, now as you can see here, our main goal is to find and rescue the professor. And obviously this is because the game wants you to progress further in the story, you know, sending you to other areas or levels and fight monsters, solve puzzles, you know, what have you. But it really feels forced, as if, you know, the game wants you, pushes you along. The story itself doesn't really carry you through the environment, which I said, you know, I really like. It's nicely set up. But this, you really have to suspend your disbelief to find this believable, let me put it that way. And, you know, the longer the game takes, the more obvious this flaw becomes. So, yeah. I would say in summation, you know, combat is the major issue here. Very boring, very clunky, and simple. The story is not so hot. Presentation I like, so it's like a mediocre, it's like a lukewarm recommendation, or not really. I mean, play it or watch a gameplay video, you know, for those cool idea moments. If you're a diehard fan, buy it. That's it. Otherwise, you know, stay away. Okay, so this has been my first impressions of Afterfall InSanity. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, I would love to see you on my channel soon. Alright, thanks, bye.